Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Prem. And I am Prem. And most of you people know this lovely lady next to me as BJ, but sometimes I'll call her Brittany. So this is our first episode of Just Prem. Do you want to say anything, Brett?
No, I'm just excited to be here in front of this different exclusive audience.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun. It'll be a fun show.
It's like a secret meet out right now.
Yep. And yeah, no, look, the whole point of this show is to basically discuss topics, things going on. A lot of people ask for my perspective or Brit's perspective or what are we talking about, and we have all these conversations, and people are always asking about it, about current events going on. We read and research a lot and look into a lot of things. So this is our opportunity to basically share different views with everyone, share different ideas, show people how you can have conversations, you can disagree, you can agree on stuff, and at end of the day still find a common ground to go move forward. I think it's in this country, it's become a huge thing for us where we're all divided, because we pick causes or because we believe in one way of something happening. So, this chat will be basically going through, we'll have guests over time, basically looking at stuff going on in the world and just discussing it and having people join in the chat and let us know what they think and just go from there. So, again, this podcast was supposed to start yesterday, as some of you were probably aware. But it turns out when this channel was set up that you had to wait up 24 hours before you could go live. So
Who knew?
anyone that wants to start a channel, just remember that.
Yeah, I'm sure yesterday was Valentine's Day, and I'm sure everyone's wondering. I'm dying to know. I'm sure everyone in the chat is dying to know what you got me for Valentine's Day.
Oh man, I guess you're putting me on the spot. Nutella nachos, would that qualify?
That doesn't count. You got those before you even thought about Valentine's Day.
I knew it was Valentine's Day all day. That's why I got those Nutella nachos, right?
Monica said, "Are we getting political on this channel?"
Again, political in the sense, everything is political these days. Every topic is political. So that being said, I guess we'll be going political, but we won't be choosing sides. Well, I will not be. Everyone can have their own opinion and view and stuff.
I can't make any promises. I might choose sides here and there from time to time.
I'm for me, politics is all about, each case that comes up and how you go about it. So that being said, we'll take on politics, we'll discuss it, but this space is supposed to be having conversations about difficult things and respect each other. And that's what this conversation is going to be about. Whoever wants to be a part of it can be part of it. Whoever doesn't have to be. Again, click and subscribe to the channel. We're just starting up and let's see how big we can grow it. But this is supposed to be a place of respect, with different opinions, different thoughts, and still being able to respect each other. So yeah, whoever wants to take that on will definitely go. Nutella nachos, they're a creation that I get from this local restaurant called Taqueria.
We love taqueria in this house.
Yeah, huge Taqueria fans. So yeah, it was supposed to be a dessert that turned into a Valentine's Day gift.
It wasn't a Valentine's Day gift. Okay, so what topics are we talking about today? What are we
But
starting
no, before we start, let me clear it up.
Yeah, because people are probably going to think that you just don't even love me or something.
We really don't do gifts. We really don't do holidays much. Growing up, I didn't do too much of, my family didn't do gifts as much. My dad was always used to say you shouldn't have to wait for a certain day to get you a certain thing. Whenever you need it, you should get it, type of thing. So we never really did get my birthday was on Christmas. That was always an issue. So it was like, oh, no gifts at all.
Prim and Jesus were born on the same day. Did y'all know? Did you ever think about it that way?
Yeah. Did everyone? I don't have the chat available, so
You don't?
No, I'll pull it up on this.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, if you just pull up your phone or like an iPad or something, or if you even pull it up on your own screen, like on YouTube, and just don't share it, then you can look at the live chat through that too.
I just understand. We'll figure it out.
You need a stand? I got one. You want me to bring it to you?
Nope, I got one here. There you go.
There's a stand in there.
All right, no, that makes it better.
I think I just broke the mystique, the mystere, by implying that I could just simply just bring you a stand all the way out there on that farm you're on.
Yeah, it's a trek out here.
You want to talk about where you are, what's on your background?
My background is farmland. Just a village in India, and just farmland there. I figured why not go to the farmland to talk about stuff.
Love that. I like that you're all the way out there and definitely not in the same house with me as someone might have suggested in the live chat. No, his birthday. Oh, April 1st. The 25th, April, Christmas Day. Farmland. I know. Yeah, so Prim we just don't do gifts. And that's not actually true. Because you do give me gifts. You just don't wait to give them to me.
Yeah, I don't wait for an event or a holiday. I just give
You'll
gifts.
just be like, I thought about you. So I guess in that way, the Nutella nachos kind of were a Valentine's Day gift because you just thought about me and got them.
Yep.
Look at me saving you.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you. So let's start with the first story. Do you have it queued up?
Oh, I can't show that imagery on YouTube. We're just gonna have to talk about it.
Okay.
Because
So
you know how they do,
So you want to fill people in on what's going on?
Yeah, it's in the title. It's about in the thumbnail, if you looked. It's about Eugenia Cooney. The girl done got kicked off TikTok. No, she didn't. She's allowed on there, but she can't monetize anything. And I'm really not even exactly sure why. I mean, I keep seeing that it has something to maybe do with perhaps this sort of like state of her physical body. And I've said before on my channel on That Surprise Witness TV that I think that it is a little bit of a slippery slope, that they're, get to decide whose body is acceptable for being on the internet. And I mean, I see a lot of people who I otherwise agree with on a lot of stuff kind of cheering this on. And I'm like, yeah, it's cute until they decide it's your fillers. Until they decide it's your fillers that's harming young girls. And then you don't get to have your subscribers no more, et cetera, et cetera. It's just too slippery of a slope. But she lost her monetization. And in particular, it means she can't do certain functions on TikTok as well as she can't make money. She's to do all these battles and things like, you can go on there and play the games and they put the little filters on your face and all that. And so she's saying that was one of the ways that she connected with people. And she hasn't been doing that. And apparently she had taken a break off the social media. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't fact check. That's just what she said. So if that's true, and she did take a break, she said she was miserable. She said she was unhappy and she wanted to be back online with her friends. And something I don't think people understand is Eugenia Cooney has been online for a very long time. I mean, she had a YouTube channel for about, I don't know, since 2011, like 13 years. And then before that, for years, she was on MySpace and YouNow. And she's like an online person. And regardless of whether you agree with that or not, lifestyle or not, that's up to you. Like, it's not your choice about her life. And I do think it is a little bit clueless of people to say like, well, just get offline. Like, her literal whole identity and persona is online. Like, I do agree it will probably be good for her, but y'all don't know how to use nuance, the people saying that. And some people do think it's a little bridge too far, but that's my opinions pretty much on it.
Yeah, no, I think I would have to agree with you on this. I'm a big believer, as you know, you're aware, that whenever you're looking at a situation, don't look at it as that one individual. Here, it's her. People have problem with her weight, eating conditions, and everything else like that. And people might have valid reasons that they feel like they should be concerned about this person online. All that aside, let's look at it. What are they really doing? They're basically saying, because we deem you unhealthy, we deem you as not a good role model because of your eating issues, that you cannot be monetized. You can't be on TikTok monetized. It's a private company. They are allowed to do that. But as people that are supporting it, my thing is, don't look at it as her. In her circumstances, it might make sense. Okay, yes, I see why she has to. You might justify it that way. But who's deciding? Today it's this. Tomorrow, whoever's deciding decides, oh, being over a certain amount of weight is not healthy, so you're not allowed to perform.
And I see
Or
some folks like, Haley had said, I saw somewhere on Reddit it was because she violated terms of service, multiple times, but other than that, no specifics. And then, do you know how to say this name? I always say Davy Dossi. I don't know how to say the first one. Sorry about that. But then this person also saying it's not, is it about what she's promoting on her page, or is it about what she actually looks like? And these two comments together are kind of the point. I don't know. And it's like, at any time, like, what is exactly the term of service violation? And couldn't that just be, anybody? It couldn't, because like you said, in this case, you do look at the girl and you see that she's skinny. I mean, that's an understatement. I'm not in any way encouraging people to want to look like that. I've said it before, just it bears repeating. If you can look at that and think that's what you want to look like, there's already underlying problems. But that's a good question. Is it the content on the channel? Is it what term of service? What term did she violate? It's unclear. And I think, TikTok, we can make excuses, or we could make differentiations, right? Like, it's a Chinese company or whatever. But like, I mean, Twitter could do this, or any other platform could do this. So it's kind of like, we shouldn't be cheering for stuff just because it's like she grosses you out or she makes you uncomfortable, because maybe that's going to be you tomorrow, and you're going to lose your platform, or your ability to make money, or your stuff will get age restricted. I mean, in general, I don't think getting age restricted matters, because I don't think that it should be 13, year olds looking at that. But at the same time, when some platforms age restrict, they kind of just limit your reach to everyone. And it really isn't just 13 to 17-year-olds. And I think that's not really fair.
yeah, no, it's in this day and age. Again, we'll talk about someone who you have covered in your other channel, Mark Leta, right? It's
Mm,
a good example.
mhm.
I I do not watch his content. I can't sit through his content. I just can't. I think
Yeah. It's
it's
nasty.
depraved. But do I think because that content is depraved that it shouldn't be online or that it should be restricted? No, I don't. I
Oh,
think no, some of it. If it's underage, it's
right.
those type of issues. I think
Agreed.
it should be restricted. But other than that, if it's adults consenting, doing whatever they're doing, going on there, as long as they're not being forced and taken advantage of, it should be allowed. And whoever wants to watch it can watch it, and whoever doesn't need to. Just because I think that content is disgusting doesn't mean everyone else in the world needs to think it. And also, the other big problem is, this is kind of like silencing. once you start silencing people, they're still in the background existing. It's not
It's
like
also
they go
weird
away.
to me that like a person who does obviously make a predominant majority of any of her income online, that a company could just stop, not only like, it's penalizing her, right? Because it's taking away money from her. But it's also penalizing the people who would like to give her money on TikTok in that way. It's like, you can tell other people what they can give money to now? That don't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way that you can tell if corporations can donate as much damn money as they want to the presidential election, then why can't somebody give Eugenia Cooney a 30-cent heart emoji?
Yeah, no, I think, and people should really look at circumstances like this and take a step back and see who's deciding and what are they deciding, and is it subjective, and can it change tomorrow and you be on that outside.
Yeah.
Whenever it's not you, it's easy to be saying, oh yeah, no, that person should be not monetized for this reason, that reason, or shouldn't be allowed online. And then until that day comes when the powers be decide whatever you're doing doesn't work, they don't agree with, and they, you know, take you away,
And
take your
those tides
platform
can turn
away.
faster than you think.
Yep, presidential elections will change them, depending on who's the next president. Uh, will change, what's going to go on. It's sad that it does, but it will. So yeah, just be careful before jumping into like, oh yeah, this person should be allowed or not. You
And
should
I just
let.
want to clarify here. This Gato says people give her money because they fetishize her, and that's adult type stuff. Agreed, but I think you might have missed the part where they made it to where nobody can give her money for any reason. And if Adam Grant Mason's wife can get married and then run off onto OnlyFans and charge people money to watch her, with another man, then why can't somebody else get paid for their fetish online? I mean, I'm not paying them, but it's kind of like, why is that okay? If it is a fetish. Now, agreed, it shouldn't be around kids. I agree with that. If it's some type of fetish stuff and actually explicit, I don't think it should be accessible to kids. I think it's messing kids up that they have access to all this stuff like this. But if Adam Grant Mason's wife can get out here and do what she did, and if Adam Grant Mason and his wife together can get out here and do what they do, and people can pay them for it, and if Mark Layton can put a naked 13-year-old little girl somewhere and they can pay him for it, I don't see why Eugenia Cooney is any different for collecting a 30-cent heart emoji.
And again, who's deciding what it is?
TikTok
Who's
is
really?
an OnlyFans, but you also made a false analogy because what's allowed on TikTok on OnlyFans not allowed on TikTok. So good point is what I would say.
Yeah, no. And if there is stuff that's age restricted, it could be age restricted. But when it's, again, and we don't have, it's not like TikTok is sharing what happened. We're just going based on the information we have available. And from that, it seems like it was because of her eating disorder. And people have been trying for years and years to get her offline for her eating disorders. And it's just,
I think it's messed up. I really do. It doesn't sit right with me. And that is not me encouraging or endorsing, but like people can sit on here and do mukbangs. People can sit on here and eat 15 Domino's pizzas. I mean, that one guy, I know, he's entertaining and things, but he's a glutton. He's just eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. That's disgusting. That's not good. That's a binge eating disorder, if you ask me. Why is he allowed to be all over the place? Why is everybody else allowed to do stuff, but it's whenever somebody looks like a skeleton for some reason, y'all lose your damn minds. You got to keep up the same energy. You just have to.
yep. And what does the chat say? Yeah, no. And again, just reading through the chat here, talking about silencing and stuff like that. anyone can be silenced at any time. Uh, and if we don't stand up together against it, if we don't call it out for other people, where we might not even like their content, we might not want to see their content, you know.
And on top of that fact, it's like everyone would agree that the eating disorder is a medical condition, would we not? Would we not? Is that not in the DSM-5? It's a medical condition. So what? Azalea Rose, Gypsy Rose. None of these disabled people should have. We shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. Because she has a medical condition. Her medical condition violates the terms and service of the TikTok act. It don't make sense to me, y'all. That's how y'all sound. Because she has a medical condition. That's a disability. Y'all are discriminating based on a disability. You understand this?
I actually saw that argument out there that it is discriminating. And again, just to make it clear, we don't know exactly what's going on. It's not like TikTok has released a statement on it that I've seen. It's her word and people gossiping about it. So, with that being said, we're not 100% sure, exactly what's going on. But if we were to take it as what's being reported, it seems to be because of her eating, um, you know, and if it's because of that,
And
why
this
are
is
we silencing
a decent argument. Soybeans says Eugenia's target audience is children, which I don't know to be the case, but maybe it's true. And she dresses inappropriately 90% of the time, but the same thing can be said about Ariana Grande. Am I right or am I right? Her target audience is children, and she dresses inappropriately 90% of the time. Is she banned? Is she demonetized? She's also shockingly underweight, shockingly for a 30-year-old woman. She's not banned. So why?
And where
Again,
is the line? Again, I think there is a difference between, if people are going to be comparing, they're going to say, "Oh no, she's not as this, that," but that's the slippery slope we're talking about. Where
right.
does the slippery slope start and stop? You know,
The
um,
Kate Yup story is weird. You know about that story, Prim?
no, what's going on with that story?
It's weird. There's this girl, she does, I don't know how to say the word. I say mukbang, but mukbang or something. It's where people like gorge themselves with a lot of food. They just eat and eat and eat. And it's kind of gained a new meaning. Mukbang now, it's like, could just mean eating a little snacky snack. But it used to be like as much food. You've probably seen it, right? Like all the seafood and it's noises in the mic and stuff. And it's like a kind of like a fetish. It's weird. But it's not always, right? Some people just do it for, I guess, a sport. Well, there's this one girl, this one woman, person, lady, I guess. You never really hear her speak on YouTube, and she had millions and millions and millions of um subscribers and views. And I was actually going to make a video about it one time, but the footage of it grosses me out so much I couldn't even get through the like research process, because it's like she's just eating a lot of like, no offense, I know it's everything's cultural and things, but in my opinion, from what it looked like to me, kind of nasty. Some of the stuff kind of nasty, like, raw stuff, and a lot of it. And it's a lot of food. And then all of a sudden she starts having like bruises on her hands in some of the videos, and her lips busted in one of the videos. And then it's like time goes between it and you don't hear from her. And then there's another video comes up, and then people started getting worried. Like, it's weird. She doesn't talk. Oh, she's blindfolded. That's another big. She's blindfolded the whole time. And at some point in one of the videos, you can apparently vaguely hear somebody saying like, eat faster. And I don't know. I didn't get that far into it, but there was there was Reddit forums, there were all these things, people trying to figure out what was the deal with her. Like, is she being held hostage? Is she being forced to do this? It is gross. Like, what is she really getting out of it? Was she getting like, maybe it was monetized? I'm sure she was. If she was monetized, if her channel was monetized, I mean, she probably was making decent money because it was millions and millions of views. And then she just kind of like disappeared.
Yeah, no, it's a scary thing, especially with content like that. What was that story that you were talking about the other day where, what were you talking about? There was this girl, she had a whole profile online, everything, and then it was like
Lonely Girl 15.
Yeah, like that,
Only girl 15. Red flag in the chat if you know about her. A total op. CAA got busted.
but that was the YouTube show before YouTube was really YouTube. Um, and it was a whole setup, and they were basically doing a whole setup that pretended like it was all real. And then at the end, it was like, oh no, this was I think it was an experiment, but a social experiment to see how people react to things like that.
Yeah, it was like public theater. And they actually like K-worded this person in their like LARP and didn't bother to actually inform the public for years that this person wasn't actually no longer with us. Like they did a whole theater. Like there was many YouTube channels, and then the girl was apparently chosen for the ritual, chosen for the sacrifice, or chosen for the ceremony. That's what they called it, the ceremony. And it actually, like, it was in the paper, like NBC News reported it. And then it was like this small little sentence at the end that was like, and this was all in the play pretend LARP or what? I honestly, I was probably into it for about say 3 to 5 hours looking into it, and I started to actually feel like I was losing touch with reality. Like these people fabricated entire lives online and appeared with their faces and dressed like it and talked like it and played it out and kidnappings, and it was very bizarre. It was very bizarre. And then there was people who were like trying to like pretend like they were a part of it so they could fool the public too, but they weren't actually hired by this production. And so it's like you didn't know who was in it, who was not in it, who was canon, who was not canon. I was like, how did these people not lose their grip on reality? Then there was this like connection which seemed to implicate degrees of separation from the Takali twins because they were making that same type of content around that time. This horror style content at the very least. I don't know why we started talking about this. It was just such a mind blow. I was mind blown by it. But what's her name? Kate. Kate, yep. It blows my mind like that too. It's just like if you let yourself get into thinking about what it could possibly be, it's like you don't even want to go there. It's like, no.
Well, it's so hard, and there's no way of really knowing.
Yeah, and they got exposed by the New York Times, which I mean, then that begs the question, did they actually? Who knows? But they were like, yeah, we were going to come out and make a documentary about it next year, and the New York Times exposed us. And it's like, you're just going to let people, and to be clear, like some people did think it was fake. Not everybody thought it was real, but there were people who did believe it was real, and there were people who didn't know for sure. And I'm sure they would have appreciated some closure after they said you were chosen for a satanic cult ceremony and nobody ever heard from you again. And then NBC News reported that you died, and then they were like, haha, JK, it was just a joke. Like, I don't know. I really feel like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm allowed to say what I feel like it was, but y'all could probably figure it out.
Yeah, no, it's a crazy online world we live in.
Mm.
And that's why with everything, my belief is you should go look, see what you're looking at, go research. If it matters to you, go research it, go look at and verify it, and then go forward with it, And some content is just real hard to even fathom what's going on to make that content.
ARG. What's that called? ARG. That's what it was. It was an ARG. ARG. Alternate reality game is an interactive network narrative that uses real world as a platform and employs transmedia storytelling to deliver a story that may be altered by players' ideas or actions. So it's like a video game that's played in the real world, and you get the public involved in it.
But aren't they doing like depraved things in there?
In this particular one, well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure that everybody would agree that this was an ARG. Like, I would think it is. But I'm not sure, I'm not an expert. I don't know. I just learned about this the other day. But Yeah, I mean, conceivably, yeah, you could do messed up stuff, and it's true. It's just like another word for a social experiment, really. You choose an alter you're gonna play. You choose a character, an avatar that you're gonna be, and then you just like Butterfly Boy, kind of. Like, you know how like no matter what he doesn't break character, like that's who he is, and whatever he might get arrested. It's like performance art, LARPing, delusion. It's like I don't know. I don't exactly know how to categorize it, but it's like, yeah, like people agree to play certain parts and then you just let it spin out however it spins out.
Interesting content. Talking about interesting content, what about that documentary on mewing? Has anyone watched that?
Oh yeah, did y'all see the Mewing documentary? What's it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Y'all know what Mewing is? Dr. Mike Mew. It's like where you seen the I can't really do it too good. Y'all saw on TikTok? Speaking of TikTok, it's like have y'all seen those where people suck in all their and then they like are a supermodel? No idea what mewing is. It it's a particular mouth tongue posture. And supposedly if you hold your mouth and your tongue in this posture and your chin and your body, it's like, the idea behind it is that the tongue and the fascia and everything's all connected. And if you hold your tongue and your mouth in a particular posture, then it's better for you. You breathe better and your face bones and structure will start to be how they're supposed to be and all that. Um, which I had heard of, But what I had not heard of was that it's two of them. It's the dad and the son, and the dad done lost his dentist license, his orthodontist license. The son's about to lose his license. They was going all to courts and everything else, and he's having to hire people to represent him. And it was kind of sad. It's kind of another thing where it's like, I mean, it's pretty clear what the guys are doing. I don't think people are bringing their kids over there unsuspecting. I think they know what they're doing. Like, I think the people who brings their kids over there specifically to these guys know what they're paying for is kind of another thing where it's like, why can't they? It
So
looks like
mewing,
doing it for 40 years or 50 years. It's like not, did anyone die? I mean,
but for my thing with mewing is it's a couple different. Like mewing that people know is doing that tongue exercise, but the doctors themselves, they have a different approach of aligning your teeth and jaw and everything else like that. Um, right, that's the difference there. That they're actually traditionally people get braces to fix
mhm,
their teeth.
like me.
People get braces to fix their teeth. These doctors believe that that's not the right way of fixing it. Um, that you actually have to change the jaw, and then because of that, once you expand it and actually go through their protocol, which is a 4-year protocol.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was like that.
It's a 4-year protocol. Once you go through it, you actually have a better jawline, your teeth are in line, and everything is perfect. But it takes 4 years, and it's kind of like punitive. You get punished. You wear certain things in your mouth, and if you change your mouth structure or you do things that you're not supposed to do, it kind of hurts. So it kind of trains your jaw to stay in a certain place and your teeth. But and while you're going through that procedure, it doesn't look the best as the documentary would describe it. So, but after the 4 years, um, you have a perfect jawline and teeth, and go through that. So
I
now
got a
they're
I got a good example.
go ahead.
Hold on, let me pause it. This girl's funny. People are gonna know who this is. Okay. You see how her like whole face, like what, like her jaw, like she likes that. There's a technique to it. I see. I guess whatever, because I put her name. This guy 1 point. Oh yeah, see how his neck has like a downward slope? And then apparently that's him now. Now, is that true? I do not know. I do not know. Y'all do not run out, please. Do not run out and start mewing and say, I told you to do it. Only do this stuff at your own, risk, frankly. But anyway, that's what it is. It is supposed to snatch your jaw up and stuff, but it's also supposed to have health benefits and things. And it changes your face and it makes enough room for your teeth and all that. And then if you do it when you're early enough as a kid, they put a palate expander in your mouth and all this stuff. I didn't know it took 3 years, 4 years. And then they say you look horrendous during those 4 years because your tongue's all I still
Yeah,
wouldn't do it. Would you do it?
I don't think I would do it,
Oh.
but you know. But my question is, and in the documentary, it seems like the guy's fighting for his license to be able to do this. Here's another example where if people know what they're getting done and people want to get it done, they want to pay for it, then who are we to stop those procedures from happening?
I guess the devil advocate is that this is the argument one of them made in there. One of the orthodontists or one of the dentists, they said, we don't know that these people know what they're getting done because there haven't been any official studies. So what would you say to that?
Well, based on what was shown in the documentary, they've been doing this for all these years. They have testimonials from all those people that they've done it to. They've done it with twins. And again,
Y'all,
from
the man was doing twin studies too.
and if you look at that and based on that, people should be able to do their own research. And it might not be proven, but that's how people find out.
Yeah.
Again, should you be testing on kids? No. Should you be experimenting? What he did to his kids, should he have done that? No, definitely
that wasn't cool at all, y'all. This man, there's two of them. There's a father and there's a son, and the son's probably in his 50s. So the father's older, and he was legitimately experimenting. He was doing twin studies on kids around the neighborhood. One of them would get regular braces, one of them would get the mewing braces. And their last name is Mew, M-E-W. So that's why it's called Mewing, because it's named after these people. The son, they didn't seem to make him look quite as sinister. And they live in this castle too. There's they have a moat. There's a moat with a drawbridge, and they live in a castle, these Mews. And I don't know, they do seem a little bit weird. However, that being said, I would still probably try the mewing. I probably still try that expander. I think that's probably all my problems are right there in my upper jaw.
Yeah, and breathing is such an important part of our lives. We start on a breath, we end our life on a breath. And breath is such an important part. And again, I remember first hearing about mewing when I was reading James Nestor's book, Breath, which is a phenomenal book.
I love that one. It's one of my favorite books ever of all time.
Yeah, if I could recommend a book, I would say read that book. Learn about breathing. Breath is the most important thing. You can control your mood, your emotions. You can control a lot in your life through control of breath, different type of breath work, different type of breathing. So it's one of the most important things in our lives, and we're never really taught about it. A perfect example is when I was telling my dad, doing a breathing exercise with him, I asked him to breathe down to his stomach. And he was like, and he would go, he would fill up his chest. I'd be like, no, to your stomach, to your stomach. He's like, I am. I was like, no, you're not. You got to breathe to your stomach. And then I literally had to put my hand lay him on the ground, put my hand on his stomach and say, you got to make my hand rise. And when he did that, it was difficult the first few times. And then once we started doing the breathing exercises, it got easier and better for him. And then he realized most of us, majority of the time, are not aware of our breath. And we just do shallow breathing that stays right up here. Sometimes some of us do mouth breathing, which is not a good thing health wise. And if you read this book, you would figure it out. It's a phenomenal book. But breath is one of the most important things, and people most of the time don't learn about it. I didn't know about it to that extent until I actually started studying. I wanted to change my mental status and be change what I was experiencing, the emotions I was experiencing, and it kind of led me to yoga, breath work, Wim Hof, and all that type of stuff. But I didn't know everything about breathing, how different types of breaths affect you differently. And it was life changing. One of the most important in top three, and I don't know the other two, but top three pieces of knowledge that I've learned that have changed my life is learning about breath, learning about breathing. Um, it's that important. It's one of the top things. That's why anyone that I recommend any book to, this is one of the first books I recommend. I say, go read that book. Go read that book. And after that, do whatever you want to do. I'm not here to force you to do breathing exercises. I'm not here to bug you. Initially, when I first started, I used to bug people, but now I
You
say,
feel both sometimes.
I bug you. Yeah. It's because we're next to each other.
Prim says that. He's like, yeah, I suggest breathing and meditating more to you because you live in the house with me and it actually impacts both of us. And I'm like, okay. But also Prim really does, and it is true. He's right. He believes, and I know it is true, that like if you do have control over your breathing and stuff, then you do have control over your emotional reactions. And that's one of the hardest things to get control over. So he is right. I'm just kind of playing around.
And no, and my emotions, I can tell everyone, my emotions used to be all over the place, Um, and when I got angry, I used to get angry, mad, upset, uh, hurt feelings, and everything else like that. And it used to really, really affect me. And it's when I started breathing, when I started doing breath work and meditation, everything started slowing down. My reaction started slowing down. Time changed for me. This reality that we live in, time is what you perceive it. And when I started doing breath work, when I'm having conversations with people, I can see myself reacting and stopping myself. Does it always work? No. But I've become so much calmer, peaceful, relaxed. My life's gotten so much better since breath work, truly. Yeah. So how did we? Oh yeah, we were talking about mewing. So in there they talk about mewing. That's the first time I had heard of mewing. But watching that documentary last night, it's like, and that book basically talks about it, how our breathing passages have changed from our lifestyles, the way we live, and having this jaw changing procedure done, your breathing gets better. And since breath is such an important part, I think people should be able to choose what procedures they want to get and not get. It's literally that. And as long as people are aware, what is the procedure? Now there's a documentary out there, so people are really aware. But if everyone's aware what's going on, it should be allowed.
I agree. I'll pull up the IMBD. Oh no, not that. John Mew. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They start out the documentary by saying, it's like this old guy, and he's like, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. They're dead wrong. There is absolutely standard beauty standards. And then he starts going off, and I'm like, oh God, this is how they're coming out the gate with this guy. So John Mew, that's the dad, that's the older one, thinks we're all ugly and orthodontists are to blame. For decades, he has waged a lonely, losing war against the industry. which long ago took away his right to practice. With his son Mike taking up the fight, Mew's fringe theories have finally found an enthusiastic audience online. Now, Mike must defend himself from an angry establishment to avoid his father's fate. And that is one thing that Mike, the son, actually does acknowledge and say. He says that he thinks a lot of the problem came from the fact that his dad focuses so much on like, you're all ugly and you all have deformed faces. And the dad even says about himself, he's like, I'm ugly and I have a deformed face. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this or whatever. So it's giving a little bit, you know what, INCEL type of vibe. I can understand the criticism if people are just like, okay, so what? Like, we should go through all of this and change the way we live and move and all that just to be like more attractive according to whatever standard this random guy thought or whatever. That's fair. But there's other things that the son says, you know, like, I'm not focused on beauty. I'm focused on the, you know, the kids breathing better and this and that. And again, y'all, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And clearly I've sided with traditional orthodontistry since I have metal braces on my mouth right now. Okay. So I'm not trying to hype up these guys' theory in any way. I do encourage you to, like Prim said, do your own research and all that. I would try it. I probably would. But I mean, it's just, yeah, it's easier to just get braces. Go down to the Princeton Orthodontics, you know?
Yeah.
He
And
thinks
I
we're all.
wouldn't.
Yes, that's what he says. He said we all are have deformed faces. And then at some point in the documentary, he pulls up a picture of his perfect ideal woman, and it probably won't come as a surprise to y'all. So again, like, I'm not defending this man at all in any way. I could see the cracks, you know. I mean, he's quirky, he's zany, but at the same time, I mean, I don't know. Then the argument becomes, is it, you know, the kid there, this, it is kids. Should a parent get to have this type of treatment on their kid? I guess that's a separate philosophical question than like a consenting adult. Is mewing covered by dental insurance? I don't think so.
Definitely
Look,
not.
Emily, I'm telling you, it does, because they got them out here, gang stalkers and all, clowns doing rituals. And let me stop.
Yeah. No, and people should be able to do what they want to do. You
Mm,
know, why not? Like, it's not hurting anyone else.
as long as it's not, or, you know,
Yeah.
anyone else.
And and that was one of the things that I would disagree with what he starts the whole documentary on is there's a perfect face. And he says it's not true that the beauty is in, the person witnessing it or whatever. Um, I disagree with him like wholeheartedly. It's each one of us has a different chemical makeup in our head. And then
Mm,
we have different upbringings. We have different cultural things that we grow up in. We have different outside influences, different programming us, overall. And then based on that, we come up with what we perceive beauty. And it is each individual person, it's what they perceive. It's whatever you perceive, that's what reality is. Other stuff is noise, but it's whatever you perceive, believe, and live in. That's your reality. Now, is it everyone else's reality? Who knows? Every person has their own different reality. This is a movie that we're in, as
yeah.
some would say.
It's like standards, right? Like cultural and all that. So I definitely agree to at least a large extent. I think there's some things and some features that more people would find beautiful or whatever. But I do agree, like, even me and my sisters, what we find attractive in another person or beautiful is not the same. It's not, sure, there's overlap. But and then you add, like you said, on top of it, people's different cult. Like, we grew up from the same parent, same house, and it's like we don't think the same thing is beautiful. And so, I do agree with you. I also do think that we're heavily influenced by media and things we see on TV and stuff, and like on social media. So the fact that we're influenced by that stuff, I do think does change our own beholding eyes. And I wonder if it would be how it would be different, if we didn't have this like universal media that's like global. I imagine it would just be each region or place has a different standard of beauty, and then within that, people have their agree and disagree within that. But I don't really know. I can only speculate.
And again, I can give from my own personal experience. Most people have seen me with longer hair, beard from your channel, and everything else like that. But at one point, because of cultural changes, because of everything else, being born in a different country, moving here when I was roughly 10 years old, I really ran away from my culture and everything else like that, growing up. And I was kind of brainwashed into thinking, oh, this is the way to be, or this is how
Oh, yeah, like
to
your
dress,
beauty standards had changed. That's a good point.
right? And I
Mhm.
had changed until I really started to, again, do breath work. It was breath work. It was different like circumstances and everything else like that. But it was truly when I started examining, it's like, hold on, whose standards am I, you know, living by and why? Even now people come up to me and say, hey, Prem, clean cut, shaven, you looked phenomenal. You should go back to that. You should shave. You should shave. The beard is too big. The beard is too messy. Oh, hair is too long. You should cut it. This, that. People tell me all the time. And again, I respectfully tell them, thank you. I appreciate your input. But this is what I find beautiful. This is what I want to be. And this is the way I want to look. And this is the way I'll look, type of thing. And again, drastic changes. I don't know if you have a
A
picture,
picture?
you know,
Have y'all seen the Prim of
before,
yesteryear? Let's see if I can find one quick.
but
Oh,
even that,
you with the alligator. Let me see. I don't know how to like show. You look so different.
no, most people, even when turban is completely different, but I was just at a convention in Vegas a couple weeks ago. And when I went to go meet people, and it had been about a year since I met some of these people, when I was meeting people at the convention, they wouldn't recognize me. And I wasn't even wearing a turban. It was just my hair down and my beard.
Yeah, because
That's
your
how,
hair's so long now. It's like past your shoulders a little bit.
so it's, my looks changed so much.
You
Uh,
always your looks have changed so much. Like when I met you, you look different. Then you went through this mustache era, but still short hair. And it was like clean shaven except mustache. Then mustache went away. Then it was COVID times. Then it was just who knows. I wish I could pull up. Oh, then this is where you started growing it out. You started growing out your hair in 2020.
the hair I let go in 2020. The beard and the mustache, I would bring back, go away, bring back, go away. Even when I did my mustache the first time, uh, a lot of people came up to me and a very, very, um, I'm trying to put it in a nice way. They were very determined to tell me that
Oh, they hated that mustache.
that mustache did not look good.
They
And
did
they
not like it.
even people, my friends, would be doing polls to see, like, asking on their social media which picture to go with, what should Prem do, and they were really judgmental about it.
No, they
It
were
didn't matter.
rude.
It didn't matter to me. I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm happy in my skin. I'll do whatever I want to do, and yeah. So it's all. I truly believe that his premises of hey, certain way, that's a beautiful face, is just wrong. I truly do. I think it varies by each person. And I know you, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of say, like, hey, no, there is some standardized face, look.
I don't know if there's like I think, everybody has their own like Venn diagram of, uh, everybody's got their own little bubble, right, of what they find attractive. And then a lot of those bubbles overlap, like Venn diagram kind of thing. And probably a lot of people's overlap over certain things, right? I mean, there's people that, Brad Pitt back in the day, like a lot of people thought he was attractive, or Denzel Washington back in the day. A lot of people thought he was attractive. It was a lot of people, but not everybody, not even close to everybody. So it's like, I don't think there really is universal. Like, I do think some things could possibly be universal, but really, no. Cause like you said, I mean, everything's so dependent on what you got going on, right? Like, what's in your past, what's in your genetics, what are you more predisposed to be liking and stuff like that. I mean, I really don't know. I really don't know. I found a picture of you. I'm trying to pull it up though in a way that's not like giving away my damn like social security number. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can open it in the preview.
If you give it away, then it's a public record.
Even if someone, and don't get me started. Do not get me started. Okay. Let me see if I can share this with y'all. Here you go. Look at that. Who's he? Who's that? Who's he? That's what Prim looked like when I met him. This is the summer of 2019. You remember him?
Yeah. It was an interesting time.
So you think it was like breath work and meditating and things that got you wanting to kind of like just go back to natural, or?
Yeah, no, breath work, meditating, thinking about life. What is the purpose of life? Why are we doing all this? Going through everything like that is kind of making me realize we spend a lot of our time, and I'll speak for myself, not for everyone else. I spent a lot of my time chasing what was outside in the world, chasing, certain things, how I lived my life, how I went about it. It was all for the outside world. It was to show people something. And I guess I was trying to prove something or be something. And going through this journey, I've realized it doesn't matter. And that's my perception. It doesn't matter what's going on in the outside world. It doesn't matter what clothes you're wearing. It doesn't matter what car you're driving. There's necessities in life, food, shelter. Those necessities are required. But after that, it doesn't matter. Everything outside, your happiness exists within you.
And
It's
that's
what,
the path from boy to man, apparently, according to the live chat. You've reached your manhood era, I think.
oh man, I always wondered. But that was one thing when I was shaving, getting that buzz cut or whatever, the fade. I was getting a fade done. When I was getting those haircuts done, I did look a lot younger. Most
Mhm.
people thought I was sometimes in my teens or early 20s, and it was kind of weird, just overall getting ID'd. Someone thought I was 17 years old, and they wanted to ID me. And it's just crazy, how that's changed. The beard definitely makes me feel older, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, and like the turban beard combo, like I associate with like a man. I don't, because there's like a kid. Some people might not know this, but there's like a kid, like there's different ways to tie turban in the religion. And there's one, that kids wear, and it kind of is like sort of like a do-rag in a way, but you put your like bun, your hair on the top of your head, and you kind of just wrap the, what's it called?
Parka, yeah. Parka.
Badka. Anyway, so you just wrap and then it's like, y'all might have seen it. It's like, it kind of looks like a do-rag, except there's a bun on the top with like, it's covered. And so I associate that with like teens, young 20s. And then like this one that Prim's wearing, like this sort of silhouette with the beard, I associate it with grown. That's not childish. So you could look really young, but like if you had a beard and the turban like tied like that, I would be like, you're older. But if you took the same beard and put the padka tie, I would be like, you're probably younger. I would just make that assumption, even if you looked exactly the same. You know what I mean? Because of the choice.
Yeah, no, the turban definitely makes it like grown up.
Spirit Queen, she said her husband looks like a Yeti. He has long white hair and a long white beard. And she said she thinks he's very sexy. And then she's like, thank God he don't have a hairy back though. No. I
But
see
yeah,
what
no.
you're saying, and thank you for defining the difference. What's the one you're wearing is called a pug?
Yeah, the one I'm wearing is a bug. It's
Pug.
a, and most people probably, in once their teens go through puberty, kind of start wearing it. It's you start wearing this versus the patka, which is a smaller, more like a do rag type of
Oh,
turban.
I have some examples here. Let me pull them up. Not the do-rag. I don't know what the Caucasian man in the do-rag is doing here, but the rest.
Yep.
See, it's like a little bun, and then you just wrap it up. It's so cute. Anyway, so if you were wearing that and you still had your beard, I would just assume you were younger versus where you're wearing the bug that you're wearing. Then I would assume you're older.
What about when I have my hair down?
I think I would say like 30s, early mid. I think I would guess your accurate age, but I don't know. It's hard. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know.
Yep.
Anyway, anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we can
Next
wrap
time we'll
up.
come back, we'll talk about our outrage on the iPhone theft ring situation going on in the world. Maybe we can talk about the LA police also busting the iPhone theft.
And
And Costco's sofa return policies maybe next time.
yep, we can do those
So
topics
what are you
next
thinking?
time.
Like, do you want to go? Do y'all want to see? And we reserve the right to not listen to what y'all say, but I'm just asking, just out of curiosity. Me and Prim were thinking do 2 or so lives a week, and then maybe one in the daytime and one at the like nighttime. Like around this time, I'm a little more like chill. I'm like in a different altar. But we were thinking that. Prim, what are you thinking? Are you still thinking you want to do like one day, one night? Are you liking the night more? You liking the day more?
I guess we'll just go and we'll do one day, one night, and see the difference between the two, how it flows, and kind of just go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. And for everyone that made it to the end, again, I can't say it enough. Breath work. Focus on your breath. Take 5 minutes tonight or after this live, after you're done watching this video, just sit there, close your eyes, and just take a deep breath in as slow as you can. And then through your nose, let it out. Again, deep breath in. Just do that 5, 10 times and see how you feel. And go read a book. Go read the breath book. Go listen to it on audiobook if you don't like to read it. It is life changing. And then I think that's all we have for today. Peace.
Bye. See you later.